Howdy gamers and welcome back to the channel. And if you're looking for your next Stardew Valley fix, then you need to hear about Tales of Seikyu. This game takes everything we love about cozy life sims like farming, raising animals, and building relationships, but adds a magical twist. Instead of a quiet rural town, you're living in a mystical village filled with legendary yokai from Japanese folklore. The formula isn't broken, so Tales of Seikyu doesn't try to fix it. Instead, it expands on it in ways that feels fresh and exciting. With its stunning art style, fantasy-infused farming mechanics, and an immersive world, this might just be your next obsession. So what exactly is Tales of Seikyu? Well, here's where things get interesting. You're not just some ordinary traveler who inherited his grandpa's rundown farm. You're actually a yokai yourself, arriving in this mysterious village in search of your long-lost parents with your sister. But this isn't just any village, it's a hidden sanctuary where humans and yokai coexist, filled with mystical creatures and secrets waiting to be uncovered. Once you settle in, you'll farm, raise magical livestock, and build relationships with the villagers. But the deeper you dig, the more you realize that Seikyu holds more than just a peaceful life. It might just be the key to uncovering your Fox clan's past. Now let's talk about what really made this game so much fun to play, which was the mechanics. And this is where it completely sets itself apart from other life sims. Instead of just relying on the usual farming tools, you'll actually transform into different yokai, each with their own unique abilities. Need to water your crops? Maybe you'll shift into a water-based yokai to summon the rain. Don't have a hoe to till the land? Transform into a powerful boar to smash the land into submission. Every task feels fresh because you're constantly switching forms to interact with the world in new ways. It's such a fun and creative twist that makes even the most basic activities feel exciting. And the best part, the yokai forms aren't just for farming. Some will even help you explore new areas or fight enemies. From how far I was able to get in the demo, I was only able to transform into the boar, but the trailers show multiple others that you'll be able to unlock in the full release. Another thing that immediately stood out to me is the art style. This game has this beautiful painterly aesthetic that feels like stepping into a living storybook. The colors are rich and warm, giving the world a cozy yet mystical vibe, like a fantasy village straight out of folklore. Character designs feel deliberate, each one bursting with personality, from their expressive faces to the intricate details in their clothing that reflect their backgrounds. What I found really interesting is the contrast between the art styles. The game's world has a soft, almost cartoon-like charm, and the animations are smooth and playful, making everything feel lighthearted and alive. But then when you enter a conversation, you're met with these incredible detailed hand-painted character portraits that add so much more depth and personality. The shift in style makes those moments feel even more impactful. It's like suddenly getting a closer look at the real person behind the playful animated world. And of course, with any life sim, I'm always on the lookout for my future waifu. And if I had to choose based on the short time I had with the demo, it's definitely Shootin. I don't know, something about an alcoholic with a carefree attitude just speaks to my soul. Maybe it's a mystery, maybe it's a red flags, but hey, who doesn't love a little chaos in their romance options? The last thing I love about this game is just how relaxing and calming it feels to play. Now maybe this is just me, but in Stardew Valley I sometimes felt this subtle pressure to maximize every single day. Like I had to plan my routes, optimize my farm, and make sure I squeezed out every possible action before bedtime. Saying that out loud and knowing I'm a massive min-maxer in games, it's definitely a me thing. But in Tales of Seikyu, I didn't feel that stress at all. The pacing just feels more forgiving. Every action still drains your stamina bar just like in Stardew, but it happens at a slower rate. I was able to clear a huge portion of rocks and trees from my farm and still had half my energy left. And that extra breathing room makes so much sense because this game puts a bigger focus on exploration. And to clarify, I don't have actual data or numbers, it just felt that way. Unlike other life sims that keep you locked to your farm most of the time, Tales of Seikyu wants you to go out and uncover the island's secrets, meet new characters, and interact with all the mystical creatures around you. And to make things even more relaxing, there's a fast travel system, which is such an underrated quality of life feature in games like this. No more wasting half the day just walking across the map. Now, as much as I've been loving Tales of Seikyu, no game is perfect, and there are definitely a few things that stood out as negatives for me. The first one is optimization. At times the game really started to bug out. I noticed some frame drops and occasional lag, which while not game breaking was definitely noticeable. To give you some context, I was playing on a 2K resolution with around 70 FPS, and while it was mostly smooth, there were moments where the performance dipped pretty hard. Now in the game's defense, it's still in development, so there's a good chance this gets polished before launch. And to be totally fair, ever since my 3090 decided to ascend to the afterlife, I've been playing on the 4060, so that could be a factor here, but I played Stalker 2 with it and didn't run into any issues. Either way, it would be a huge shame if a game that looks this stunning ends up being held back by poor performance. The world is gorgeous, the lighting is atmospheric, and the character designs are incredibly detailed, but none of that matters if the game doesn't run smoothly. The next thing that felt a little off to me was character movement, especially when I was in my boar form. Don't get me wrong, charging around as a boar is fun, but the movement just felt a little clunky. There's a slight delay when stopping or turning, which made it harder to land exactly where I wanted to. It's not a huge issue, but in a game that encourages exploration, movement should feel fluid and responsive, and right now it's just a bit off. It's definitely something that can be tweaked before launch, and honestly, it's not game breaking. But if they can tighten up the controls, it would make the whole experience feel way smoother. The final thing I have is that I feel like progression is less rewarding in comparison to Stardew Valley. I was able to chop down every tree or break any rock from the start, instead of having to wait and grind for an upgrade to do so. Now I know this is contradicting what I said earlier with how much I love this game leaning to more relaxing game mechanics, but I think I want just a slight bit more of a grind so I can see the labor of my hard work. Overall though, if there is focus on making this game as relaxing as possible, then I fully support that. Aside from those minor issues, I generally believe Tales of Seikyu is shaping up to be the most relaxing game of the year. With its cozy life sim mechanics, beautifully crafted world, and unique yokai-inspired twists, this game has all the makings of something truly special. Regardless if you're here for just the farming, the friendships, or just the vibes, there's something incredibly charming and inviting about Tales of Seikyu. I can't wait to see how the full game turns out, and if you're a fan of life sims, this is definitely one to keep on your radar. But what do you think? Does Tales of Seikyu look like your next cozy obsession? Let me know in the comments. And as always, if you got any value out of this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support means a lot and it helps me grow the channel. Thank you for watching. Until next time, game on.